Raw review for the September 23rd episode of Raw. I'm Will. That's Brandon. We are the cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast. As always, let's cheers. Talk about some wrestling. Ha!
Yeah, we've talked about it before. Last Raw review for us for a little bit because you are going on your honeymoon.
Yep.
What a Raw it was.
Yeah, what a Raw it was indeed. Like you said, we'll be gone for reviews, but we do have a lot of content lined up, so don't worry about that. But let's get into this freaking episode. We were in Ontario, California. Mm-hmm. We were a little confused on that one at first.
I think you were confused. I was not.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, Dom and Liv, they roll up in a damn lowrider Eddie Guerrero style. It's got the hydraulics and everything, and they're bumping out there, and I'm like, this is lit. They get out of that thing, and they're walking in the stadium, and the cameras are following them, and we're like, okay, so they're going to go to the ring. Then all of a sudden, you see a flying Bronson Reed out of nowhere. He just goes into the freaking, there's a random merch table in the back.
Yeah.
Selling to superstars, I guess, as they walk in.
I guess so. It was him and Braun Strowman going right through that thing.
They're going right through it, just continuing their battle from the week prior. But Liv and Dom do move all the way to the ring. And before they get into the ring, Liv is like, take me around. And I'm like, what is he doing? So Dom grabs her and carries her around the ring. And they get into the ring. Liv grabs a mic and she said, did you guys see what just happened? That's what you call a victory lap. It's a victory lap because the revenge tour is going so perfectly. She goes, everything is going exactly to plan. She took everything from Rhea Ripley. She took the championship. She took the J-Day and the most gorgeous man to ever live, Mr. Dominic Mysterio. And when she starts talking that smack, of course, Rhea Ripley has to come out, but she already has a mic in hand, and she says, Liv, you don't have to run. I'm not going to hit you today. And she gets into the ring, and she goes, I have news. I have a message, is what Miss Rhea says. And she goes, first off, I want you to shut up. And then second, and right as she's saying that, Dom comes in front of Liv, and Rhea's like, oh, look who finally grew some cojones. And she's like, if you even think about touching me, I'm going to destroy you. And Dom listens. And Liv would rebuttal this and go, maybe Dom would have stayed with you if you treated him like you treat Damian Priest. He goes, and she goes, and I don't even care about your message because I'm guessing you came out here to say you are incapable of fighting and that you're not gonna show up with bad blood. And Rhea goes, well, actually, I'm clear to fight. And in terms of this match, I do have a message, and it's for both of you. Dominic has gotten involved in the last 4 women's title defenses for you, Liv. So guess what? I already talked to Adam Pearce. We're putting him in a shark tank hanging above the ring. And I was like, oh, are you kidding me? Their reactions were phenomenal. And obviously Liv and Dom look at each other baffled. What the hell? And Rhea takes this time to go, you know what I said earlier? I'm not going to listen. And she headbutts Liv. She takes off outside the ring. Later that night, Liv and Dom were trying to yell at Adam Pearce to get him to stop. But it is confirmed at Bad Blood it will be Liv versus Rhea Women's Championship with Dominic Mysterio hanging over them in a shark cage.
Yeah, I mean, how you gotta pop this.
Yeah,
I mean, how awesome is this? I know on some podcasts, like on Logan Paul's Impulsive, he talked about that being the original idea, and everybody was like, "Dang, I wish that idea had happened
for the custody battle."
Yeah. And so now we're pretty much getting him suspended in the air. I mean, this is gonna be glorious. It's gonna be awesome. You get Dom doing some great character work in the cage. I mean, it's going to be just amazing.
Dude, it's going to be the best. I hope they have a Dom cam.
I'm sure they do a shark cam or something up there. Yeah.
A shark cam where you just see him the entire time. They better have him mic'd.
Yeah.
They better have this man mic'd because he's about to be cutting the funniest heelish things ever. Whenever Rhea hits her.
Yeah.
Get your hands off her. It's going to be the funniest stuff. I cannot wait for it.
Yeah, and I mean, we've talked about all these videos that we kind of pre-recorded, basically, because you obviously are out. You think about the stipulation now, because obviously we didn't throw that into our stipulations, into our videos. Yeah. But I think what we said pretty much kind of stands true. I think we still get the Raquel Rodriguez run in. I think this gives the perfect opportunity for that.
Yeah.
Dom being out of the picture. Now you can't blame Dom for something like that. So what other way to have, some sort of backup than have her coming in and helping her out?
Yeah, I'm completely with you. This sets up a Raquel Rodriguez run in perfectly.
Mhm.
'Cause it's like, oh, no Dom. Finn's got a match later in the night. Plus, you can't really have like Carlito and them run out and like hit Rhea.
Right.
So that kind of washes that away. You're like, okay, how do you even this up?
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd love for Liv to just square up and win it, but this is wrestling. It's entertainment. That ain't going to happen. Raquel Rodriguez is going to come out and do some good work.
Yeah, and the rest of Judgment Day's got to obviously be saved, hopefully, for the Damian Finn match. So you're not going to get them in that Rhea one,
Yeah. Yeah. Good point. What are the odds of Raquel putting Liv on her shoulders and then Liv climbs up with the championship and kisses Dom afterward? Oh yeah.
I think the odds are pretty low, but I would sign up for that. I think that'd be sweet. I am curious. You mentioned it when we watched it live. How are they going to have a cell hanging?
Yeah.
And a shark cage hanging?
Yeah. The Hell in a Cell is going to be hanging up there.
I don't know. I assume something to strengthen it, to have it hanging up, and then they cut that after the Dom match. I assume this match goes on first.
Yeah, I think that it would just be, good for the earth if instead of wasting electricity, they just put Dom up there the entire show and he got to commentate every single match.
Or just don't worry about wasting the labor of having to cut it down and just have him in there, or have the shark cage in there the whole time.
Yeah.
And just have CM Punk and Drew McIntyre with Dom suspended in the air.
I'd love it.
Why not?
Anyway, we moved on. Sami Zayn, Ludwig, Kaiser, they come out. Match spills outside right away, and that was kind of the through line of the match. So Sami and Ludwig obviously were in a fight because of last week. Sami's trying to get Ludwig to turn on Gunther. And Ludwig got a ton of offense here because this is a Sami Zayn match, which means what? Got to make him the underdog early in it, right? So Ludwig would keep on going to the outside of the ring, and he would take him outside the first time and slam him against the announce table. Take him outside the second time and give him like a good old running clothesline against the barricade. Or no, Sami jumped on the barricade, and then Ludwig pushed him over it into the timekeeper area. And then they got outside again, and then Ludwig would do his running around the ring drop kick. But of course, we get ourselves a classic Sami Zayn Hulkamania comeback here, where he gets no offense off the entire match until the very end. And he'd do his classic comeback of the exploder into the corner, but then he would go for a Ludwig kick, but Ludwig Kaiser was like, no, I've seen this before, and he'd give him a good old ensiguri.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is good. I like that.
Yeah.
Sami would then reverse Ludwig's finisher. I don't know the name of it, but it's that Sister Abigail thing. Like
Sister Abigail DDT thing. Yeah, I don't know what it's called either. I feel like I haven't heard them say the name.
No, I haven't heard the name.
So I'll have to look it up.
The Ludwiginator. Okay. So Sami reverses the Ludwiginator.
The Kaiser roll.
The Kaiser roll. That's pretty good.
That's what they should call it.
I like that, actually. The Kaiser roll. And, of course, hits him with the most devastating move in all of sports and entertainment, the haluva kick. 1, 2, 3. Sami wins the match. Gunther would come out dressed, ready to kill, ready to fight in his gear. Pissed off with the belt, he storms all the way to the ring. He grabs a mic and he goes, Sami, for weeks you've been begging me for a match. I've seen enough. If you want this, then I think tonight in Ontario, California is the time to tell you no. And he walks away. And that was it. There was no more shenanigans.
Nothing.
Between the two of this, I thought I joked about the Sami match. Ludwig and him put on a good match. This was good. And then, of course, Gunther is just so good, man. I'm popping all of this.
Yeah, I'm going to pop this as well. It's a good way to start the show off in terms of wrestling. Kind of a preview of what was going to happen in the night, because I feel like we got a lot of good wrestling. Kaiser looked really good. Sami obviously did his stuff. Sami doesn't really have a bad match anymore. They're all pretty good stuff, even if they are the same story. Like you said, they're all good matches. Kaiser did have the pin attempt with his feet on the ropes.
Yeah.
And the ref obviously saw that. I think my takeaway from that would be like, I want to see a storyline where like a heel continually tries to cheat, and then the same ref every match.
It's like, no.
It's like, no, and just kind of stops it. Have like a smart ref. I think that'd be kind of cool.
How do you think Sami's going to get Gunther to say yes? Is he going to just flat out attack him? Like, how do you get a face to make a heel say yes to a match without doing something like very heelish in order to do it, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I think that's what we have to do. I don't think there is a way to really do that because you can't just keep asking because he's going to say no. So maybe next week on Raw, maybe Kaiser comes out or something and Sami just, I don't know, beats the hell out of Kaiser. And
I figured that would be what this match was. I thought it was going to kind of be like a Gunther going like, hey, well, if you beat Kaiser, sure, but you're not going to beat Kaiser.
Especially when he came to the ring in his gear. I was like, oh, okay. Like we're going to get a little little fisticuffs here. They're going to say yes, Sami maybe gets the upper hand and the Gunther's like, oh no, I'm going to say yes now. But I don't know. I guess that's how they do that is he just beats Kaiser again next week.
Or hits him with the most devastating move in all sports entertainment. But I think if Sami hits Gunther with the haluva kick only a week out from Bad Blood, there's no way Gunther shows up to Bad Blood.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say,
can't walk after
he's
that.
still going to be down for the count.
Yeah.
Braun Strowman gets put through a car and he's back the next week. But one haluva kick.
Yeah, you got to have Bronson Reed come out before his match and scrape Gunther off the pavement. Anyway, let's move it on. There's Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston in the back, and they want to discuss their little debacle from last week because Xavier Woods was a little mad. And Xavier Woods was like, before you say anything, that's my bad for last week. I'm just getting mad about our losing streak and kind of how we're going. And Kofi's like, no problem. You want us to be the old New Day. So I brought a bunch of New Day stuff. And he's got the trombone and the bootios, and he had some pancakes made. And Xavier Woods is like, that's sweet, but like this is in the past when we were like champions, and now we're not champions. So I think we need to be more serious and get back on the winning path. And Kofi Kingston is like, you know what? You're right. I trust you. So guess what? For the next few weeks, we're doing everything that you want to do. You get to call the shots here. So, and then American Made shows up. American Made in their new gear. They're all matching now in like Kurt Angle singlets. Basically, they look phenomenal. And Chad Gable is talking smack on Xavier Woods playing video games.
Yeah.
And Brutus is calling them nerds.
Yeah, and he says play video games, and he does like a piano.
Yeah.
Clearly, Chad Gable has not played video games in a while.
And
then, Brutus says, he like laughs and says, the nerds.
Yeah,
I don't know. It was weird.
High-pitched voice. It was awesome. They're hilarious. But anyways, that led to Xavier Woods challenging the Creed to a tag team match later that night. Yes. Which is what we would get. Not right now, though, as paper's falling all over my face. Next up, we would get a backstage segment that I mentioned earlier where Liv and Dom are complaining to Pierce, but that actually leads to Carlito saying that he has a match against Dragon Lee this week.
Yes.
And they start to walk out toward the ring. They run into Ilya Dragunov. They button heads. We're probably going to see JD and Ilya in the coming week or so.
Yeah, probably next week. Yeah. And I'm going to say right now that's going to be the match of the night, which is going to be tough because, like, as we'll get to later, you've got Xavier Woods and Ray, and you have Kofi and
Chad.
Yeah, Kofi and Chad. So, like, there's going to be some good wrestling.
There is. This wasn't good wrestling. Dragon Lee came out with the LWO taking on Carlito with JD and Dom. Liv graciously offered Dom for the match, of course.
Oh, we should also mention that people have already uncovered it, obviously, on social media, but in the Liv and Dom Adam Pearce thing, there was that.
Oh, the Alexa Bliss doll.
Yes.
Yeah, Alexa Bliss, whatever her name was.
I don't remember the name.
Yeah.
That's going to really bug me.
The Fiend girl. I can't remember it, but her doll is there, so maybe something to look at.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we get the Dragon Lee versus Carlito match, which is basically Dragon Lee coming out hot. Suicide dives, looking real good. Super kicks until Carlito would get a little bit of offense here and there like he normally does. He just gets the most lazy offense off that just is hard hitting. I always think it's funny. But eventually, JD would distract Dragon Lee, causing the shenanigans to happen. Ref distraction, everybody's going crazy. Rey Mysterio, out of nowhere off the barricade, just takes out Dom. Dom wasn't even doing anything. JD was the one.
I know.
Crazy.
And Joe Testator's like, well, how about a West Coast pop from Pops? And I'm like, oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh,
he showed some.
I was happy with Joe tonight.
Yeah, he was
that part, I just was like, come on, Joe.
Anyway, while this happened, Dragon Lee would literally just hit his finisher, pin Carlito.
Yep.
That was that. There was nothing else. There wasn't any more shenanigans. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a drop. It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough meat on this bone for me to like it. I mean, that's really all I can say.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree as well. Usually we like Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee is in the ring with people that can go. Carlito's obviously a little bit older, so he's kind of restricted a little bit. The Judgment Day stuff was there, but it also wasn't enough for me to really care. The LWO was there. They did nothing. Just kind of we talk about them going from 3 to 2 hours. How do you cut some stuff out? This is a perfect chance to cut some stuff out.
Yeah. Dragon Lee's great. Just put him in better moments than this.
Mm-hmm.
We get Miz and Karrion Kross backstage. Miz is getting ready for his match against Bronson Reed because everybody keeps telling him that he can't beat Bronson Reed. So the Miz is like, I want to beat Bronson Reed.
Yeah.
Stop telling me I can't beat him. And Karrion Kross is there. Bad guy Karrion Kross is like, this is a bad idea. And I was like, why are you being so nice to him?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know he's trying to get in his head, but
Yeah.
Karrion Kross is like, I want the old Miz back. And
Yeah. I was going to say, Miz even asked, like, what's your angle?
Yeah.
Like, why are you trying to help me, basically?
And then Kross is like, they say that only monsters can defeat monsters, but monsters come in all shapes and sizes. And the Miz is like, yeah. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was it.
Yeah. And it panned right to Kathy Kelly, who's sitting there with Mr. Sheamus.
Yeah. I will say before we go on, I guess, about the Karrion Kross stuff, I guess it was nice to see Karrion without everybody else. Just Karrion by himself.
It just still proves to me that they just don't know what to do. They're like, this guy can go in the ring, but like, what the hell do we do with him?
Yeah. And admittedly, they kind of had to abandon the New Day stuff when that wasn't really, his fault.
Yeah,
but
yeah, that's true.
It's kind of just like, well, here you go, Karrion. But it was nice to see him without everybody else.
Just get him wrestling. I don't know. Throw him in those Dragon Lee scenarios and stuff like that. I don't know. Kathy Kelly is with Sheamus, and Sheamus is yelling Butch from everywhere because last week Butch hit him with a cricket stick or whatever you call it. Yeah. So he's like, Butch. If you want to turn this into an English versus Ireland thing, then that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah,
Butch.
he said we're gonna turn it into an English and Ireland, and he said it like real, intensely. Yeah. And he also got the crowd chant, call him Butch.
Yeah, that man's traveling around the world just yelling bangers. So you know what? I love Sheamus. We would get Miz versus Bronson Reed, or at least we thought we were going to get Miz versus Bronson Reed.
Yeah.
Miz would come out to the ring looking awesome per usual. Bronson Reed would come out. Randomly, Braun Strowman's here. He jumps off the barricade. 7 foot big old Braun Strowman. Okay, he's not 7 feet, but he's massive.
Yeah.
Jumping off the barricade. He jumps Bronson Reed before the match, and immediately Adam Pearce has sent like 40 security guards out there.
It's a lot.
I mean, just
it's
everybody. I was like, damn, I got the whole NXT 2028 roster out here. But I'm going to have to look down because there was a lot to think. So he jumps Reed to begin with, and he choke slams Reed onto the apron. And then Miz gets pissed because he's like, I wanted to prove myself. And he gets in the middle and like looks at Braun Strowman. He's like, what are you doing? And during that time, Reed gets on his feet, suicide dives through the ropes at both of them, taking the Miz and Braun Strowman out. That's the end of Miz's night.
Yeah, Miz is done at that point. Yeah.
He's like, you know what? Yeah, I shouldn't be in this. They get in the ring and Bronson Reed is just headbutting security guards. He gets on top of the rope and like throws a security guard off the top rope onto another one who lands perfectly stacked. He tsunamis both of them. Meanwhile, Braun Strowman's on the other side with 2 security guards himself. Choke slams both of them at once. They run at each other, double clothesline. They're taking each other out. All hell is breaking loose. Security guards are still just running around everywhere. Reed gets onto the top rope. And Braun Strowman at this point has like 7 security guards around him. He does the I'm a big boy roar thing where they all go flying. Yeah. He runs over there and they get on top of the rope looking like they're going to do the classic big man on big man superplex, break the ring. But Adam Pearce sends another 30 man up there and they split them up. And when they split them up, Braun Strowman obviously takes out all of them. But Reed has been like escorted kind of outside the ring to a point where Braun Strowman's like, I think if I can get on that top turnbuckle, I can get him. And so he goes and gets on the top turnbuckle, but Bronson Reed, being a human with a heartbeat, looks up and goes, probably shouldn't stand here. He moves out of the way, and that's that. They just kind of back away. So we find out later that Adam Pearce next week is done with this. We're having a monster versus monster last man standing match between Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman. Before we talk about that match, this was awesome. I'm popping it.
Yeah. We say it every week. It's fun.
Yeah.
Like, this is just fun stuff. This is going to be stuff. I just talked about the Dragon Lee stuff, the stuff you could cut. This would be something that when it goes to 2 hours, I'm going to be mad because we don't get stuff like this.
Oh. We got to get stuff like that.
I don't know. I mean, there's other stuff in the night we'll get to that you could cut out. But it's like, God, this is just fun. It's excitement. They both look like 2 monsters like they should.
Dude, they had the promo package for it.
Yeah, last monster standing.
Last monster standing, and they're both like Godzilla's rampaging through a city.
Yeah.
Dude, that gives me such high expectations for like how that's gonna end.
Yeah, and it's in Evansville, Indiana next week. The promo, even the poster look has them like in front of a city. And I'm like, oh man, this is so cool.
How in the world does that match end? What's your guess?
No idea. I legitimately have no clue. I think Bronson Reed gets the win there. You're going to have to like run somebody over with another car or like a forklift or something. I mean, like you're going to have to forklift stack stuff on to somebody.
Hear me out. Monster trucks.
Or like
monster trucks.
Like Hogan and the Giant.
Yes.
Off the or you could do like, it's either going to, you know what? It might be a classic, like Bronson Reed climbs on top of a truck.
Yeah.
And he tsunamis Strowman on like a pad underneath.
All I know is that the ring's not surviving the match. They're 100% pulling the superplex into the ring, exploding.
The one thing I do hope for is we go. I mean, it's a sure bet, but go backstage, use that stuff, and like I said, maybe a mega tsunami off the truck onto Strowman. That's probably how I would do it. Yeah,
just give us all hell and then a Bronson Reed win, and we'll all win. Anyway, we're moving. Drew McIntyre comes to the ring because CM Punk was all mad last week, which means Drew McIntyre gets to be all mad this week. He wants to win the mat off. And he gets in the ring, big old promo package. That's why I'm looking down. He says, I'm prepared for this to be the end of CM Punk. He said, I saw the look in his eyes. He means every word that he says. He's as ready, and so am I. I've always been honest. I do not want to go inside the Hell in a Cell either. He says, it has broken me. He goes, CM Punk's family begged him not to do this. He goes, my family has too. My wife can see what this is doing to me. She tells me to stay as far away from CM Punk as I can. But guess what? It doesn't matter. This match is happening. I promise to make you bleed, to make you suffer. This is good versus evil. You think that you're a god, but you're a broken man, and I will break you permanently inside of Hell in a Cell. And that was it. We had a quick, to the point, heartfelt. I don't think the camera was ever more than 2 inches away from his face. This is all I needed from Drew McIntyre. This is good. I'm popping it.
Yeah, I'm going to pop this. I guess it didn't necessarily hit with me the same way. Like, I just was like, okay. Like, intense promo back to Punk. I'm just ready for the match or ready for some sort of physical interaction possibly before Bad Blood. That's all I'm looking forward to now. Maybe we get that next week. I just don't want the back and forth to continue. I've kind of, with him and Drew, I'm just like, well, okay. Can we get to the match?
We've at this point we've seen everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. We've seen the jumps. We've seen the security hold us back in the ring. We've seen the mad promos every single week. At this point, it's just like, how long do we got to Bad Blood? Somehow, some way get there.
Yeah.
You know what I wish they would do? Remember when they used to bring the Hell in a Cell out, like the Raw before the event?
We might get it.
That used to be cool. And then they'd hang it where it wasn't touching the ground, but they were inside the ring and it was like above them.
Yeah.
And they like cut a promo at each other.
You know what?
Give me that.
We might get that. Papa H might do that.
That'd be sick.
Or like, I know people don't like this, but when they did Money in the Bank, they all would sit on ladders.
I love that. It was absolutely ridiculous.
People are like, this makes no sense. I'm like, yeah, but this is cool.
That was the one where Samoa Joe came out and just started ripping everybody to shreds.
Oh,
he
yeah.
Said, to Jeff Hardy, treat this like an AA meeting and wait your turn or whatever he said.
Joe went at everybody.
Yeah, that was awesome. Anyway, next up, we would get some women's tag team action. Unholy Union was taking on Damage Control, but before the match, they had Damage Control lined up backstage, and I was thinking, oh no, Kathy Kelly interview, they're screwed. But it wasn't Kathy Kelly, it was Jade and Bianca. They walked up there talking that smack. Bianca wants a rematch because she thought that while her and Io put on a banger, that it wasn't decisive enough. It was a roll up, and she wants a second chance.
She's not wrong, but
she's not wrong. And Io said, you know what? Next time we're fighting, it's for those tag team championships, and we're taking them. Bianca and Jade obviously didn't take that lightly, and they were talking that smack, saying doesn't matter who wins this match tonight. No one's taking the belts from us. Well, okay, we go and have a match, and we always talk. We mentioned it. It's like when Io and Kyrie come out. That there's no pop. but then they wrestle and it's huge pops and they put on just absolute shows.
Yeah,
It's like
by the end of the night, the crowd is going nuts.
It's like the whole crowd they come out and they just like get their mouths full of popcorn because they know what they're about to watch. It's so good. Damage Control would take over this match early. They would do all their normal tag team stuff. Io Sky would hit a beautiful, springboard missile drop kick to both of them. I mean, just the stuff that all of us love. Suicide dives, all the fun stuff, but we would get an Unholy Union comeback. Both of them would have some good offense here. There was a good spot where they were attacking Kairi Sane's eye that was injured a few weeks ago. They had, I think it was Isla Dawn distracting the ref while Alba Fire was just like grinding it in the ring post.
Yeah,
I was
and
like,
then took it off and just like threw the tape or whatever it is.
threw the tape. I was like, that's smart.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely love when they use real life injuries and they attack them. It makes sense. But eventually we would get some Kairi Sane and Io Sky good stuff action where they both end up on top of the ring post. And you got who was on the outside? You had Alba Fire on the outside. Kairi Sane does the insane elbow off the top rope to the outside of the ring, right to Alba Fire. And Io Sky would hit the over the moonsault to Isla Dawn in the ring. 1, 2, 3. No shenanigans after this match. Damage Control just looking strong. They're next in line, it looks like, for those tag team championship belts. And I couldn't be more happy for it. Pop.
Yeah, I'm going to pop this as well. I mean, what else can I say? It's just great wrestling.
Yeah.
And Unholy Union looked good too. They worked really well as a team together. They showed that they're still a capable team, or like a, what's the word I'm looking for? Smart team, I guess. I mean, they work well. They were cohesive. But after the match, I did look at you and say, like, I kind of wish that Damage Control would already have the tag titles. I know we're getting the feud, and honestly, I hope it's a long feud. Give me a long feud. Like, it can be 3 matches of just great Jade and Bianca versus Damage Control. But man, they work so cool as a tag team and they're just awesome. So I'm already like, just give them the belts. We know that's going to happen. But make sure it's a long program. I hope we get the long program, not only for each team, but for those titles to actually kind of mean something.
I will say that before this tag match, Jade and Bianca were kind of coming at Kairi and Io. It kind of felt not 100% heelish, but it felt like they were starting to give attitude, as a guy that always says he wants the Bianca turn. I love seeing that kind of stuff because she could own it.
Yeah. It's one of those things that, like, I guess for me, like, the more that we see those two together, the more that I see that Bianca isn't necessarily like the straight babyface 100%.
Yeah.
She's much more in like the tweener side. Now, she's not going to do heel stuff in matches or anything like that, but she's much more like, I don't know, a normal person. Like, you don't get the straight, I'm a babyface, I'm a good girl, I'm a good, I'm going to kiss babies and what do they say?
Twirl my hair.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Kiss babies and twirl. Yeah. We don't really get that. We get like the attitude of Bianca, and I like to see that.
I do too. I'm all for it. Anyway, Kathy Kelly was working her job some more tonight. She interviewed Mr. Braun Breaker, who says it's game day. And you know what game day means? It means the dogs are barking. And they did. They barked pretty loud. It also means it's a day that Jay is going to lose. He goes, Jay, I'm going to beat you tonight, but don't worry. In a couple months, when you work your way back up, you can get a second opportunity. And I was like, that's nice of him. That's a nice champion.
Yeah.
Give him another opportunity. We get a few things here. We get a random Fire PFR logo.
I think those were the letters, right?
Yeah, it said PFR. It'd probably be on the screen when we're doing this. Very quick. All you could hear was a guy say, "Fate is awoven." Everybody on the internet is saying maybe Viking Raiders.
Yeah.
Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, I know one of them ended. Well, one of them I think had surgery and was hurt for a while, and then Eric did originally, and then they were running Ivar back, kind of in some singles action, but then he got hurt as well. So we'll get them back. I mean, I guess welcome back. They've never really moved the needle for me.
No, they need to repackage. They should not come back as the same thing.
I would like some sort of twist or some sort of different gear, something. So hopefully maybe that's what we get there. Hopefully they bring something to the tag division because the tag division is kind of non-existent. So
agreed. We would get we won't go over it again, but we got a very long Roman and Cody video package recap. They went over the whole SmackDown thing. If you haven't watched that, I strongly encourage it. It's phenomenal.
Yep.
Jey and Sami were backstage, where Sami basically just said, I worked hard to make that IC title prestigious, and now I want you to get it, so go get it. And Jay's like, yeet.
Which is kind of crazy that he says that, right? Because to me, it was prestigious when Gunther had it, and you were just kind of riding it.
Wow,
from when
you
Gunther
are
had
such
it.
a Sami hater.
Am I wrong?
You are such a
Am
Sami.
I wrong?
I can't do this every week. What you're hating on my favorite superstar.
Book it.
I love the haluva kick and Sami Zayn. Anyway, New Day would
Somebody cut that.
New Day would come out to face the Creeds, who of course came out with American Made as a whole. And this match was awesome. They gave them a lot of time, and these two know how to be teams. Speaking of that cohesive tag team wrestling you were talking about Unholy Union doing, we got a lot of that at the highest level here. New Day still got it. They've been doing this for 15 years. They were doing all the fun stuff. You know, Kofi was climbing on top of Xavier Woods' shoulders and then doing moonsaults off his shoulder. And then the Brutus and Julius would respond to that by using each other as weapons and just throwing them on each other. I mean,
Julius picked up Brutus and did like a Dominator, like the old Bobby Lashley finisher onto, I think it was Kofi.
Yeah, it was literally a Dominator. Good point.
It's like, Jesus Christ.
There was this nice little spot where Brutus had Xavier Woods in the corner and was chopping the absolute hell out of the man until this new pissed off Xavier Woods, he gets pissed and hulks up and he starts chopping away at him. Really doing good back and forth here. This was good stuff, though. There was a moment, though, where, there was a cool moment, actually, where they had, each team had one member getting superplexed. So Xavier Woods superplexed Brutus, while Julius superplexed Kofi. Good little spot there. I love that kind of stuff. It makes me pop.
I like it in the way that they shoot it, too.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of like the above, like obviously not center, but like, oh, Jesus, like above the corner. I like that.
Yeah. So the referee would start happening, though. Chad would distract the ref, and the ref would not see Kofi Kingston tag Woods. And so when Kofi Kingston got in the ring and the ref turned around, he was like, what are you doing? Get out of the ring. Kofi and him start fighting. While they're fighting, Chad and American Made beating the hell out of Xavier Woods on the outside.
Yeah, they have him trapped in the apron.
Yeah, they have him trapped in the apron and just beating him. I was like, damn. Anyway, Woods would have a little bit of a comeback here because we're booking Woods to be strong, right? He's getting angry, getting mad, he's hulking up. He'd have some missile drop kicks. He'd have a comeback. He'd hot tag Kofi. Kofi would go to the top rope. He'd do that jumping, like, trust fall outside the ring to the Creeds where he just closes his eyes and hopes they're there.
Yeah.
He'd nail him, though. Woods would go to the top rope, but Chad would distract him, and Woods would get pissed, bring Chad into the ring, and instead of focusing on Julius, who's in the ring, his anger got too much. Xavier Woods would not focus on the match at hand and start beating the hell out of Chad Gable.
Yeah. Oh, and he did.
He did.
He did.
He
beat the hell out of Chad.
Anyway, this would lead to a Brutus bomb to Xavier Woods. 1, 2, 3, American Made get the win here. But the takeaway is Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston are on the split, and Xavier Woods is ready to beat some people up. Even after the match, LWO came back from last week and was like, hey, I just want to clear some things up about last week. And Xavier Woods was like, hey, I don't care what you say. I don't want to listen to all these freaking past champions tell me what to do and think of me so low. In fact, Rey Mysterio, I want to beat you up.
Yeah.
So next week he's going to challenge Rey Mysterio. Mm-hmm. Xavier Woods is a pissed off man, and I like it.
Yeah.
Pop.
Yeah, I'm going to pop this as well. Like you said, it gave the match some time. Both tag teams really shined. Obviously, the New Day, like you said, they've been doing it for a while, but it's nice to see that they still have it to that level.
Yeah.
The Creeds, they are fantastic.
Yep.
I mean, they're just great in the ring. Chad getting involved is great. I love anytime Chad gets involved. You get Woods taking him out, like you said, you get that frustration. You really got to see like the different side of Woods. And then post-match, obviously, how Woods went off on everybody, saying he's not a past champion, all that. I like that they acknowledged that, or he acknowledged that as a different kind of element to his character, I think. And realistically, once we get that New Day breakup, because it's coming, I kind of hope we get Woods to kind of destroy Kofi, and that's how the breakup happens. I mean, kind of like tonight, how he was stomping Chad, stomping a mud hole, walking it dry, like JR used to say. Just go out and just destroy Kofi, and then just like really snap. I would really like that.
Yeah, I kind of want Xavier Woods to have a little bit of like a heater here, go on a heater of like beating up Rey next week, Whoever else is in the way, if they want to do some other LWO member, maybe a Dragon Lee, beat him up. And then whenever they do the turn, whenever they do the Kofi payoff match, let him beat him up. Like Xavier Woods, this is long overdue. He deserves to get a good little push here. I'm not saying world title push, but this dude should be in the IC scene in the next couple months.
Yeah.
Post Survivor Series almost around that time. Like, let's get this going.
Yeah. And I don't, for the record, for like next week on Raw, I do not want Woods to sit here. I don't care if he wins. In fact, I'd rather have him lose. A couple weeks ago, they did it with Finn Balor, how he just had this mean streak and got DQ'd. I want to see that. I want to see Woods do that. I want to see Woods take his anger to the next level and get DQ'd because he's just beating the hell out of Ray.
Oh, yeah. Just take a couple weeks, let the volcano build until the explosion. Totally down for it. Xavier Woods is dope, and I want to see him. I want to see him thrive.
Yeah. I am interested to see what they do because obviously he's going to have some new gear. He's going to have a new theme, just something like that. So give me something cool.
It's an angry video game theme.
It's an angry,
dark video.
Kofi can go back to the SOS theme song.
That'd be sick.
Why not? He won't, but why not? You know.
A couple promo packages here. I'm just kind of goes right through because they didn't really have any big meaning. Damian Priest.
Don't you skip one of them.
I'm not gonna.
You
skip
better
that
give
one.
credit to that one.
We're gonna talk about that one for 50 minutes. Anyway, Damian Priest promo package. He talked about being his brother's keeper, and is Finn Balor his brother? Well, he felt that way when he didn't know where to go in life, and life led him to the Judgment Day, which became his family, and his big brother or his little brother, whatever brother he wanted him to be, was Finn Balor. They were as close as can be until Rhea and Damian became champions. Then Damian saw that Finn was getting so envious that his envy took over, and now he's betrayed him, and Damian feels real dumb about it. And he says, "Am I my brother's keeper? You're damn right I am, but guess what? Finn Balor is no longer my brother in that bad blood. I'm going to beat you right up." And I was like, good for you, Damian. Good for you.
Yeah, it was fine.
That's fine.
Yeah. That's it.
That's it. I completely agree. That's how I feel.
Well,
There was a Howdy tape that honestly was just more gibberish. It seems that if you really want to look into the Howdy stuff, there's QR codes online. We say this every week. We film this directly after Raw. We don't have time to dissect that stuff just quite yet. But looking like we're not going to get Howdy in White 6 for a little while. Let some stuff happen, and maybe boom after Survivor Series around there.
Yeah, it mentioned the red. So I'm assuming maybe the QR code is, like you said, well, we don't know. Maybe that's leading to something, maybe what the red is or who the red is potentially.
Yeah.
But
I have no
yeah,
idea.
it kind of sucks because I kind of don't want to go back to the tapes. But I also I want to see them, but I also I don't know where you would put them right now, you know?
I like them being I don't mind this idea of giving them month and a half, 2 month long feuds and then send them away. And then bringing it back maybe in a stronger way. We'll see. Yeah,
maybe. I guess maybe for me, I agree 100% because I want that kind of novelty feel, right?
Yeah.
I don't want them to feel like every week we're getting them.
Yeah.
But I do want maybe a different form of doing that other than QR codes and tapes. Maybe just, I don't know, a lights flickering or something. I don't know, something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It'll I'm sure it'll become more obvious when we get a decent target or something.
We'll probably love it. And
yeah. It'll be a pop. Anyway, the promo of the night was next up.
Here we go.
Pure Fusion Collective.
Yeah.
They said all the other factions are losers. Their glitter outfits and their cool pyro and everything. Yeah, they were sending that up. And they said, we fight for dominance. We are the future of the women's division. We are the Pure Fusion Collective. And I was like, how the hell can you call anybody losers when all you've done is lose? The hell are these girls talking about? Dominance. Dominating what? Dominating the Lost, Colin? These girls suck. I don't like them. I'm dropping this. I'm literally giving this a drop.
Yeah, we didn't pop or anything, any of the other.
No.
I'm dropping this one.
That's freaking terrible. That made any sense.
This was bad. If they did this
is bad.
If they had done this without first of all, the name is not good.
That made any sense.
The name sucks. But if at the beginning of this, if they had did this type of promo, I would have been like, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
This is important. I feel like I should care because they even showed pictures of Damage Control, Jade and Bianca, Unholy Union. It was like, okay, cool. That's who you guys are after. The Party People. I don't remember what their tag team name is again, but so I was like, cool. If you had done that, I feel like this was supposed to be played 2 months ago when they debuted, but instead it's 2 months after. And all they do is lose, and I can't take them seriously.
Dude, this team when they was put together, I was like, this is so perfect. It's 3 badass women. Put them together. It's going to boost them to another level. And it's done the complete opposite for me. It literally has put them on their face for me. I've gone from being a big Shayna fan, huge Sonya fan, and, warm on Zoe Stark, like, what's next for her? Cool. To just being like, you guys are losers. Like, you're absolute losers. None of this makes any sense.
Yeah. I mean, they had it all. Like, the thing is, they had it all right there. Sonya being the mouthpiece like she was in the promo, it worked. You have just quick little one-liners from Shayna and Zoe. You have Zoe and Shayna be like the badasses in the ring to kind of take no prisoners. And Shayna was being built up to be like that NXT Shayna Baszler that I talk about.
Yeah.
Being so dominant and badass. And then it just sucks.
Yeah, it's a rare big L. I don't think they're in a hole for me that they just can't climb out of. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But I don't know, like, they're still fairly new. So, like, they're going to be on TV for a bit.
They should be new and a repackaged.
Again.
On
call them
TNA.
Call them Collective Fusion Pure. Just change the name.
Terrible.
Change the name.
Oh, I'm dropping that. Anyway, main event time. It's Jey Uso. It's Braun Breaker. It's the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, how about that? You have that promo package right before the. I mean, you want eyes on it. You want people to care, but the people that watch it every week, the people that are in the know or whatever, we're not in the know, but you know what I mean. It's like, oh, well, that just really just took all my energy out.
Just move it on. Give me some yeets. And that's what we got. Jey Uso came to the ring, through the crowd, and they proved that they sell those places out, man. I mean, packed. It's awesome. I love watching his interest. You get ready for a match the second you see him. Braun would start this match pretty strong, but Jey would answer. That was kind of going to be the thing. Braun was going to overpower him, but what can Jey do? And Jey was like, I can do these things. And he would do the suicide dives. He'd yeet. He'd do all of his signature, all his moves throughout the match. One of the things that was going on throughout this match was the good old classic Braun Breaker cockiness. So there were times during the match where Braun would go for early pins. He'd get a 1, push him off, start doing some push-ups. He was talking to him the entire match. You're not the one. You're not the one. This is too easy. It was reminiscent of the first time Braun tried to take the title from Sami Zayn. Yes. And Sami ended up beating him because of the overcockiness.
We should have known then.
Yeah, we should have known
to be honest. I mean, when he started doing the push-ups and stuff, I should have known. Like, damn.
Yeah. Yeah, but all the good stuff was here. It's been a while since we've seen Braun Breaker fight. Obviously, we had to do this entire tournament. And because of that, it was refreshing to see all the cool stuff. So Braun Breaker would do his apron clothesline where he jumps off the apron and clotheslines Jey Uso over the announce table. Jey didn't take it too great, but it's still cool to see. He got his top rope Frankensteiner in. Jey Uso was getting his comeback, his spit punches with the dance and all the yeeting.
Yeah. The 23-mile-an-hour outside spear.
Yeah, I mean, it had all the glitz and glamour that you wanted from this match. They were putting on an absolute show. Mm-hmm. Into the match comes, though, Braun Breaker would go to the outside. He'd spear Jey Uso. Yep. And I was like, damn, here we go. Braun would pick him up immediately, throw him into the ring, stand him up. He'd start running the ropes, doing his thing. But as Braun hits the rope one time, Jey Uso would spear him. And Jey Uso would not only spear him, he'd go to the top rope, Uso splash, hits it. I'm like, oh shit. 1, 2, kick out at the 99% into the pin. Mm-hmm. Kick out. Huge ooh from the crowd. Crowd's going pissed at this point. There aren't that many wolves. It's a lot of yeeting out there. But we go back to the outside of the ring. Braun would go for another spear and Joe Tessitore, his credit, 23 miles an hour. Even though it doesn't make sense on the outside of the ring.
No, he doesn't. And he only runs 23 on the ropes. Yeah, he doesn't run it on the outside.
He's halfway there.
Come on, Joe.
Give him a break. But he goes.
That's the reason Braun lost. Goddamn, right there.
Got the stats wrong. But Braun runs the outside of the ring, going for another spear. Jey Uso super kicks him. Jey Uso super kicks him, throws him against the barricade. He backs up. He goes yeet. Spears Braun Breaker through the barricade. Throws Braun Breaker into the ring. Spears his ass again. Uso splash, hits it, 1, 2, 3. Jey Uso wins his first singles title in the WWE, defeating Braun Breaker. What a moment. What a pop. I have to pop it.
Yeah. I think this is like a golden pop. I don't think I've ever given a golden pop, but this is the golden pop. Yeah. I mean, How can you not be happier for somebody like Jey?
Yeah.
I mean, we've been talking for months and months and months. We didn't get the King of the Ring. We didn't get Money in the Bank. He's been on his own. When's he going to get something that he deserves? I mean, he's so over with the crowd and everybody loves Jey. Even admittedly, we were like, well, man, I kind of hate Braun to see that title. But once the 1, 2, 3 hit and Jey is the new champ, I smile in ear to ear. Can't be more excited for the guy and just overall happy for him. It's much deserved.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's what it is. It's deserved. It's long overdue. Yes, I get Braun Breaker had a very short title reign here. They'll probably run it back in some way. Maybe Jey drops it back. But we live in the moment today. That is a man who has earned it. He's put on the best work of his career over the past 3-4 years. Bloodline stuff into this. He's selling the merch. He is the absolute eye of the prize when he walks out in every arena he goes into. I'm looking forward to a Jey Uso title reign, man.
Yeah.
I really am.
Yeah, I could see a customized like Yeet belt or something out of Yeet on the strap or something, maybe. It's got the blue back. Tell me that wouldn't be nice.
Well, he retires the IC title. He just comes out with a big old Yeet. It's like the old NXT title when it was the X, but it's just Yeet.
Yeah. I mean, the side plates are going to say Yeet. You know, it's going to be nice. It's going to be clean. It also, like I was saying.
Pink strap?
I think blue. Like the light blue. I think the
blue and pink?
Yeah.
Like his merch or like his merch tonight?
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be nice. I was also kind of thinking like long term. So, I mean, obviously we think he's going to drop that belt and go over to the Bloodline stuff, but long-term Bloodline booking, Roman wants to beg Jey to come back because he needs Jey's help. He needs Jey's forgiveness. Jey now can say, well, I'm an Intercontinental Champion. I never won a singles title under the Bloodline. Now I won one out on my own. Why would I need you? So, like, I assume that maybe we get something like that. I think that would be kind of cool. Obviously, Jey's going to come back. Maybe they tease Jey helping and Jey kind of fights with it and says, no, I'm better off on my own. And then eventually that Jey music hits and boom.
Yeah.
I think that might be the way to go.
Yeah, I can't argue that. That's a great way to do it. You literally, Jey's going to point to it and be like, I never got this under you.
Mm-hmm.
I never got this under you. I didn't need my brother to do it. I didn't need the wise man. I didn't need the bloodline. I did this by myself. And that's where you go from there. But my one question that we'll end on, do you think Braun's going to get this back?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now, I mean, when? I couldn't tell you when.
Survivor Series?
No, because Jey would be in the Bloodline stuff.
Jey's not going to the Bloodline stuff now.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
I think it'll be a quicker drop. Like, I think maybe he has it for like a month. I mean, we do have Crown Jewel. Maybe you could have it then.
I keep forgetting Crown Jewel's in the middle. For some reason, I think that Bad Blood is... Yeah.
Or you could have it at some type of random Raw. They continue to put really good matches out on Raw. So maybe you have that out on Raw. They continue to put on great stuff in main events. So I think Braun does get it back. But, you say he's not going to be at Survivor Series. He has to be because Roman Reigns is Bloodline leader, but what's Bloodline without Jey Uso?
I had my timeline wrong. I thought it was Bad Blood Survivor Series. I forgot about Crown Jewel. Yeah. It would be disappointing, though, for Jey to... I agree that Braun should get the title back, but I'm also, now that Jey's champion, I'm sitting here like, well, the man deserves a title reign. Yeah. But I feel the same way about Braun Breaker. The man deserves a title reign, so it's a tough situation to be, but it's a good situation in WWE, man.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of, we always talk about, like, in SmackDown, like, well, if this didn't have to happen, like, DIY would maybe be tag champions instead of Bloodline, or maybe the Street Profits. Well, it's just kind of the same thing. Timelines are kind of cramped, kind of crunched. I think, like I said, we give Jey maybe a month, like maybe just a month long of fun with that belt. You have him party, live it up, and maybe the next time they go at it, he goes ahead and drops that back to Braun.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm telling you, though, I bet you they do a custom belt on the shop.
You gonna buy it? You gonna eat it?
Where is it? Right there? It takes place on this one?
Yeah, maybe.
Put it next to the Roman Reigns belt?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, maybe.
Well,
that'd be pretty cool, actually. That would be cool. If it's as cool as I think the belt would look, that would be pretty sick.
That'd be sick. Anyway, great episode of Raw with a phenomenal ending. Not only did we pop this episode, we yeet this episode. We're going to say screw it and do it. It's cheesy, but we doing it. Once again, I have to reiterate that we will be missing the next 2 SmackDown reviews, the next Raw review. I will be on my honeymoon, but don't you worry. We already got a bunch of pre-recorded stuff that are going out. We will have our Bad Blood predictions, Bad Blood wish list, a lot of Bad Blood content, plus a lot of other content that we're kind of reaching out for, just fun lists and stuff that hopefully you guys can get some, get some interaction with. So
yeah, hopefully it's something you guys interact with. It's something that we had fun doing, some stuff that we kind of look back and admittedly just stuff that we wanted to kind of talk about a little bit. So hopefully you guys kind of feel the same way, and hopefully you guys, like Will said, kind of interact and give us some lists or some wish or some what ifs or anything.
Just don't worry about the consistency. We'll be back on reviews. It's just for a week and a half during my honeymoon. But other than that, follow us on all of our social medias at COD WrestlePod, COD WrestlePod. Listen to our podcast wherever you get your podcast, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, etc. And if you want to come talk to us, we got a Discord. Go to our link tree in our bio. Go to every single social media. Go ahead and follow us. We'd much appreciate it. We appreciate all you guys. Until next time, though, I'm Will. That's Brandon. We are the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast, and we will see you next time.